Tell us a little bit about the new album that you have out right now.
The new album, it'll be out July 9th. It's called Home Base.
Home Base.
First single is Summertime.
Ho.
Why you say ho?
Because summertime.
That's like a party, right? It makes you want to say ho. You like you lay back and relax. Yeah, I can see that.
So it's 1985, and DJ Jazzy Jeff is supposed to perform at a house party in his neighborhood. Now back then, the party was more lit if the DJ was accompanied by an MC or a hype man. So DJ Jazzy Jeff speaks to his guy. He's like, so look, I'm DJing at a house party nearby. What if you show up and rock the house party with me, because I really need an MC. So the guy goes, of course, anything for you, my guy. Besides, there's nobody out there who can rock a show like I can, and we both know that. Alright, cool. So it's the day of the house party, and DJ Jazzy Jeff is ready to go. He has his equipment, he knows what songs he's going to play, and he's really looking forward to this house party, right? So the house party begins, and DJ Jazzy Jeff starts playing his songs. And then he looks at his hype man and he's like, yo, now's the time for you to rock this party. Let's tear this house party down, right? But here's where things get a little bit interesting. When it's time for the hype man to perform, DJ Jazzy Jeff is like, yo, you're up now, bro. Show them what you got. But then the hype man goes, I can't do it. The hype man goes into full panic mode. His anxiety gets the best of him and he can't perform at all. So at this point, DJ Jazzy Jeff is looking around thinking, what am I gonna do now? DJ Jazzy Jeff was like, I know he's nervous, but this is not a good look for me. But then a miracle happens. See, the hype man did not come alone. It turns out he brought one of his friends along for support, a guy who lived up the road who went by the name Will Smith. So Will goes, alright, since you guys need an MC or a hype man, I can be your guy. Now at this point, Will Smith is not a well-known MC, but because DJ Jazzy Jeff was desperate, he was like, alright, cool, let's do it. Let's just do this, right? So DJ Jazzy Jeff has the music playing, and then it's Will Smith's time to perform. And when he gets on the mic, he nails it. The crowd is going crazy, the energy is wild in the room, and Will Smith's friend is probably looking like, yo, that could have been me up there. And it was in this moment that DJ Jazzy Jeff and Will Smith formed a bond. So eventually Jazzy Jeff and Will Smith have to figure out a place to record their debut album. So Jazzy's like, I've got a place. And they end up recording in his mama's basement for about 6 months, while during the day they would go to school and at night they would record. So just a year after meeting, they dropped their debut single Jada Ain't Nothing But, Girls Ain't Nothing But Trouble. Nevertheless, don't mean to bust your bubble, but girls of the world ain't nothing but trouble. On a local label. And the song garners local success. So much so, in fact, that Will Smith becomes very popular before he graduates high school. They also dropped their debut album Rock the House through this local label. But by 1987, people are starting to catch on to their sound, and major labels are starting to reach out. One label in particular is Jive Records and Russell Simmons. Now remember their debut album Rock the House that got released through a local label? Well, it got re-released on Jive Records around 1987. And thanks to this major label push, Will Smith and Jazzy Jeff essentially become stars. So after this they go on tour with Run DMC and Public Enemy. And with every passing show they perform at, their fan base increases and so does their reach. So now it's time to record album number 2. And the recording sessions take place in Philadelphia and in London over the course of 2 weeks. Now Jazzy Jeff and Will do something really special with this album. They record so much material that the album becomes a double disc. And not only that, the first disc would focus on Will's persona and the second disc would focus on DJ Jazzy Jeff, with some overlap, making this the first double album in hip-hop music. So the album gets done, and now it's time to release some singles. The first single that comes out is Brand New Funk, which was released promotionally. Now this single doesn't really make a noise. It's the second single called Parents Just Don't Understand that really puts them on the map.
So do you
you other kids all across the land. There's no need to argue, parents just don't understand.
Now with this single gaining momentum, the duo and the label decide it's time to drop their second album, and it comes out in the form of He's the DJ, I'm the Rapper on March 29th, 1988. This album ends up being huge for the duo. It goes platinum, and it essentially brings them into the mainstream. So around 1989, the Grammys have a change of heart. They're like, maybe we should start including more urban music in our categories. So they create a category called the Best Rap Performance. So they do so, and in that year they include LL Cool J for Going Back to Cali, Salt on Pepper for Push It, JJ Fad for Supersonic, Kool Moe Dee for Wild Wild West, and DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince for the song Parents Just Don't Understand. So LL Cool J ends up winning the award, and in a drunken rage, Will Smith gets up on stage and slaps the hell out of LL Cool J. Now I'm just pulling your chain. What really happens is DJ Jazzy Jeff and Will Smith win in the category of Best Rap Performance, making them the first artists to do so. Now you know that song by Eminem, The Real Slim Shady, where Eminem goes, Will Smith don't gotta cuss in his raps to sell records. Well, I do, so f him and f you too.
Will Smith don't gotta cuss in his raps to sell records. Well, I do, so f him and f you too.
Those lines are in direct relation to DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince winning the Grammy for Parents Just Don't Understand. Now when DJ Jazzy Jeff and Will Smith won the Grammy for Best Rap Performance, it made other rappers go like, huh? You have Kool Moe Dee in the category, and we love and respect him. You also have LL Cool J, and you go with DJ Jazzy Jeff and Will Smith, huh? So people were not too happy about this win, but nonetheless the duo broke history, and the record books show that they won that award. Okay, so now it's time to drop album number 3. The duo set time aside to work on the project, but instead of spending their time giving it the utmost focus, they end up partying hard in the Bahamas and end up not giving their project enough attention. And the result is the lackluster third album from the duo called And In This Corner. This one barely goes gold and spawns singles like I Think I Can Beat Mike Tyson and Jazzy's Groove. But this album does not do as well as its predecessor. Now because album number 3 does not do so well, Will is in a bit of trouble. See, Will had a major issue. He was spending more money than he was making, and he owed the tax man a lot of money, and I'm talking millions. So in this point in his career, Will Smith was famous, but he was struggling financially. So what does Will do? He retreats back to his home where he lounges around and licks his wounds. So at this point, Will is depressed. He's walking around the house all miserable, but luckily his girl is there to support him. So one day she sees him just looking like a mess, right? And she's like, you know what? Something needs to change. You can't be depressed forever, and eventually you have to start doing something about it, right? So Will's like, yeah, I guess. So she goes, I have an idea. Why don't you go to places where things are happening? You know, be around people on your level. So she goes, why don't you go to the Arsenio Hall show and just hang around? So initially Will goes, nah, I'm not doing that. Why would I do that? That's a waste of my time. But after a while he was like, you know what? I've got nothing to lose, so I'll do it. So Will shows up to the Arsenio Hall show, and because he's a well-known rapper at the time, he's instantly recognized. So while there, he bumps into Benny Medina, a television producer, talent manager, and a music producer. And Benny goes to Will like, look, I have an idea for a show, and I think you'd be perfect for it. Benny then pitches the idea of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, a show based loosely on his life, and Will Smith is immediately intrigued. So Benny introduces Will to Quincy Jones, and Quincy helps Will land an audition with NBC executives. Now during the audition, the executives are like, yo, this guy has something. He has charisma, he has confidence. I think we can make this work. So Will signs on to do the show, and the rest is history. So after Will gets signed to the show, he doesn't quit making music altogether. He goes back in the booth with DJ Jazzy Jeff, and they drop an album called Home Base around 1991 during season 2 of Fresh Prince. Now this album is very special because it contains the biggest song of their career called Summertime. Now when this song comes out, it is everywhere. People are playing it from their speakers in their car, from boomboxes, and for a lot of people this song becomes a theme song of the summer.
Home for us is Philadelphia, so we did our entire album and we shot our video and everything in Philadelphia, and I think we captured that home aspect of it with our first video, Summertime. There was a scene where we needed a family reunion in the video, so instead of just having actors and actresses stage a family reunion, we just had a family reunion and shot it.
Now at this point, the group's popularity is explosive. Will is excelling on the TV show and is quietly using his paycheck from the Fresh Prince to pay off his debt to the IRS. So things are looking really good for the duo, and they get to working on their next album, and it comes out in the form of Code Red around 1993. Now with this album, they decided to take a very different approach, and they dropped a couple of songs that were more aggressive than their previous material. For example, the lead single Boom Shake the Room, that's the hardest Will Smith song I've ever heard in my life.
I came here tonight to hear the crowd go boom, shake, shake, shake the room.
I mean, Will's delivery on the song is extremely aggressive. You know, it really sounds like someone pissed him off before he made the song. And that's a good thing because I love this version of Will. Okay, now, so a couple of months after this album drops, Will appears in a film called 6 Degrees of Separation. And before this, he appears in about 2 other films, namely Where the Day Takes You and Made in America. So with these films under his belt and a very successful TV show, it's clear that Will was destined to become a movie star. So by 1994, Will Smith was pursuing acting full time, and Code Red became DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince's last album. So after this, the duo ends up dissolving. However, they still remain friends and they still collaborate on future projects. For example, DJ Jazzy Jeff appears on Partners and So Fresh of Will Smith's second album, Millennium. Jazzy Jeff would often appear at live concerts with Will Smith, and around 2017 they dropped a new song together called Get Lit. So DJ Jazzy Jeff and Will seem to be on good terms. There seems to be no bad blood between them, and they show nothing but love to one another whenever they can. So yeah, Will Smith essentially becomes a movie star, and that takes his focus away from the group. Also, times changed and their sound was becoming very dated. On Spotify, they have 1.6 million monthly listeners, and their most listened to songs are Summertime, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Boom Shake the Room, Summertime Again, and Girls Ain't Nothing But Trouble.
So when that's your real friend and the world's talking about them, and most of the time the world doesn't know that person, they know what they saw. How, like, that's got to be a hard thing to handle, or is that just, you know, like with anybody's real friend?
I don't know anyone who has walked a straighter line than him. And when the incident happened, you know, I was one of the first people to reach out to him, and it was just kind of like, you're human. I think everybody in the world has done stuff that they regret. It's just a little bit unfortunate when it's done in the public's eyesight. You know, I was one of those people that I was kind of like, I think, you know, every black family has a Bobby Brown and a Whitney Houston in the family. That was not unusual for us to see.
That's it for me. It's your boy Ali. What happened to the duo in your opinion? Let me know down below. Also add me on Instagram at Ali Talks Music. Till next time, peace.